What's up, everybody? We're back here for the third video cast for the ADBL. Had a couple, like a week and a half hiatus from the show. I was at home on spring break and then having a way to upload a new video. That was after my little mishap with my microphone here on my computer, not having it on back when I recorded the last one. So it's been about a week and a half since we've got to chat, but we got a lot in store for today. Looking forward to the start of the regular season. First of all, I would like to welcome the Rangers officially to the league. He's been here for a couple weeks now and getting going. Had a few trades over the past couple weeks, some signings and everything. So getting his team in order. Looks like we got another quality owner to fill in one of our holes. Now I would actually like to introduce y'all as well to my back porch. It's a beautiful day here in South Carolina, about 50 degrees at 11 o'clock at night, so I'm not going to complain about anything. Nice and quiet out here. I want to talk about the NCAA tournament for a little while. Looking at our ADBL group on ESPN, actually right now Matt is leading the way. Well, let's see. Pulling it up real quick. Matt is leading the way with 650 points, but he picked Ohio State to win the championship, so obviously that's not going to happen. So he's stuck at 650 and got nowhere to go. And actually, everybody other than my bracket is stuck at 0 points remaining. So y'all cheer on UConn. Hopefully they can pick up some more points and finish pretty good. And that I actually picked none of the number 1 seeds to go to the Final Four, which happened, but not quite the way I thought it would. But it's going to be a pretty exciting Final Four. I'd say my picks right now are UConn over Kentucky, and then Butler over VCU, and then obviously UConn over Butler for the championship. That's the way I see it going down. Looking forward to the start of baseball season, though. It's not too far away. Actually, we'll get the NCAA championship a couple days into baseball season. As we got our first game coming up in 3 days. So not long at all, actually, before opening day. It's going to be exciting. ESPN's got games starting at like 1 o'clock. I might skip class and watch baseball games all week. So, we'll see. It's going to be exciting. Got a lot of rookies coming up. All of our teams are ready to go. Got a few guys sitting on the DL for quite a few teams. So, it's going to be an interesting first couple weeks as the league starts to shake out, both in real life and here in the ADBL. On today's show, I would like to introduce you to the first of, hopefully, our weekly edition of the Power Rankings. Power Rankings are going to be for each team here in the league. We're going to break it down team by team, look at how each team did each week, and then see where we're going from there on future matchups, how everything looks for the remainder of the season. I'm going to go ahead and break in today, just go through the rankings and see what it looks like heading into the season for our preseason rankings. Overall, number 1, I've got the Reds sitting there at number 1. I picked them as the favorite to win it all this year. Got a lot of pitching and hitting there. So, looks like Matt's going to be doing alright with his team as long as the injury bug stays away. He's had a few guys go down here early in the season, or before the season started, but looks like he'll be alright come opening day. Second off, I've got my Rockies sitting at number 2. Hopefully we'll be able to repeat this year. Still got a lot of young talent that's going to have to produce over a full season for that to happen, but I like my chances there. Third, I got the Detroit Tigers. It's another solid team, top to bottom, that the AL is going to have to deal with. And then the second AL team I got on my list are the Yankees, coming in at number 4. So the top 4 teams there are probably going to be my pick for our Final Four for the ADBL playoffs. You got a East and a West team for both the NL and the AL sitting there in the top 4. So that's obviously my pick right now for the Final 4 teams for our playoffs. Coming in next, I got the Phillies at number 5. Just a solid team overall there. Definitely a contender in the East. Going to give the Reds a run for his money early in the season and throughout. At number 6, I got the Rays. team under new ownership, but still a solid group of players there. Great pitching staff. So it's going to be a tough win every week for whoever's playing the Rays to try to win some of those pitching categories. Moving on to number 7, we've got the Chicago White Sox pulling in there. And then at number 8, the San Francisco Giants. Both those teams are fairly similar. They good teams, good players on those teams. Underperformed a little bit last year. The White Sox ended up making the playoffs on a strong run at the end of last season. That should continue for Jason coming into this season. So looks like it's going to be a good team for the White Sox and the Giants as well, sitting there in the top half of the ADBL. Moving on to the bottom half. To start out the bottom half, we got the Atlanta Braves at number 9. So Braves sitting there, top half of the bottom, or the top of the bottom half. Looks like the Braves are going to be able to make some headway in that East Division, maybe. Some stiff competition, but with 3 teams in the top 9, obviously the NL East is going to be one of the tougher divisions, along with the AL East, who's got 3 in the top 7 actually. So those 2 divisions, both in the East, are going to be tough divisions. Coming in at number 10 is actually our final AL East team. So they've got all 4 teams in the top 10 of the first power ranking. So that division is going to be tough, top to bottom, just like the real AL East. So you're going to see a lot of good ball games there between those teams. Coming in at number 11 is another AL team, the Los Angeles Angels. Lots and lots of prospects that are pretty close to being ready to help out the team. So that's a team that could have a slow first half, but then really develop in the second half and become a contender as we head down into the playoffs for the ADBL. Sitting at number 12 right now are the Diamondbacks. That's another team that's got some young talent on it who could make a push in the second half, waiting on Lonnie Chisenhall to come up, be their everyday third baseman and everything. So it's a team to watch out for, especially at the turn of June or so when some of those prospects start coming up after their service time hoopla that MLB's got to straighten up their next CBA. Once all that gets figured out, we'll start seeing prospects at the beginning of the year, but that's a whole nother story. But the Diamondbacks will be sitting good in June when some of their prospects start coming up. Coming in at number 13, and starting that lower tier of teams here in the ADBL, is the Texas Rangers. I don't see, with the offense that's there, a team that could compete this year, but there are a good number of very good prospects there in the organization, and also some pretty good pitching pieces that could be moved to start rebuilding that team and getting them ready for a push maybe next year. So that's a team to look out for, maybe not here at the first half of the season or even as the second half, but there towards the end of the year and especially in the next year as a team that's going to be really starting to make its move here in the ADBL. Number 14, we got the Kansas City Royals, another team under new ownership this year. They should be in a pretty good boat, starting to come back up out of the cellar of the league. Got a good prospect base there that's been helped out here over the off season, and they are going to be. Those guys are a little further away than some of the other guys on other teams, so it may be a couple years before we see the Royals turn into a real contender. But that doesn't mean they're going to be an easy matchup for anybody here in the league. I think they're in the AL West, so I don't have to play them this year. But I'm sure all the guys in the NL East looking at that matchup on during the interleague weeks, not going to be too excited about having to play the Royals, even though they're one of the lower tier teams. Coming in the 15 and 16 spot, we've got 2 more NL teams. The last 2 teams, the Dodgers at number 15, and then the Mets at 16. The Dodgers get the edge there just because they got a few more right now pieces. They wouldn't have finished dead last in the league last year had a few of their guys not gone down with injuries, I don't think. So with those guys back healthy and producing from the start of the season, should see a pretty good improvement. And I'm probably discounting them too much. They're probably somewhere around that 12 to 13 ranking. So we'll probably see them move up with a couple good weeks here to start the season. And then last, sorry Corey, are your Mets. Just not much there right now. Obviously a few nice pitchers, a few nice offensive players, but that's a team that's got more potential in the future than it is right now. But there's a reason why we play the game. It's because anybody can beat anybody any week, and I'm sure Matt's not too excited about playing the Mets here in the first week of the season, because that's not going to be an easy matchup for him. That's all I really had scheduled for today's program, just looking at those things. But we can talk about a few things here in actual baseball. I mean, it's going to be a fun season. We had a lot of prospect news and notes over the last couple of days. A few guys making teams, a few guys getting sit down that we weren't quite expecting. Mike Minor there for the real Braves, not winning that fifth spot. I know Matt's not too happy about that. So he's going to be going down with Brandon Beachy winning that fifth starter spot. Another guy who won a fifth starter spot for me, actually, I'm pretty happy about, is Michael Bonita up in Seattle. So I'm pretty happy about him getting that spot. Then another couple guys I've seen in the last couple days. One was actually Aaron Crow, and I think he's owned by the Angels here in the ADBL. He's going to be used primarily in relief, from what I understand, here to start the season. He may get some chances to start games as the season progresses if somebody gets hurt or something like that. And then Tim Collins, a reliever for the Royals, a guy who's like 5'4", 5'5" maybe. So super small guy, but apparently he throws like 94-ish. So I mean, it's a good arm there on a very tiny body. So it'll be interesting to see him throw a couple games. I'm sure he'll get some Sports Center time, just for being a tiny guy. But he got himself a bullpen spot there in KC. Trying to think of a few other guys who did or didn't make rosters. Matt Dominguez down in Florida got sent down. Brett Lowry up in Toronto, a couple of third basemen, got sent down within the last week. Lowry was tearing it up, and Dominguez started the spring tearing it up, and then kind of leveled off and started getting into a real cold spell there. In the last week he was up, but he should be back up within a month or two of the season starting. Those are some of the bigger name guys. I mean, I think I saw today on Twitter that Cedric Hunter actually made the Padres as a utility outfielder. He's owned by the Royals as well, so that's another piece that the Royals has got that will be able to at least contribute a little bit. I think he's going to start out, like I said, in that utility outfielder role. But he should get 2 or 3 starts a week, and that's obviously helpful for a guy who's still young and be able to produce more in the future. So yeah, that's going to be it for the Videocast number 3. Yeah, number 3, because we had the misrecorded one and then the misweek one. So Videocast number 3. I'll be looking forward to number 4, and looking forward to an exciting first week. We're going to get started on Thursday with some real games. So best of luck, everybody, and we'll see y'all next week.